Season's greetings to you all. It's almost Christmas time. I can't wait. I'm counting down. Christmas is one of my favorite times of the year. And just to celebrate Christmas as Alice's Kitchen, we are going to be sharing with you some ideas of some simple treats that you can do for Christmas. And today we've got these Santa's hat no bake mini cheesecake. So why we are calling them Santa's hat, it's because you can see I'm wearing my hat and they've also got a little hat on top of them, and at the bottom it's just a mini cheesecake that's not been baked. So this is an easy dessert that you can make for kids or even for adults to just enjoy. So join me in the Christmas fun. Let me show you how to do these easy, simple, delicious. We've got here 200 grams of digestive crumbs. So I have just made these into crumbs using my NutriBullet. You can use a food processor. If you don't have any of those, you can just put them in a plastic and use a rolling pin to roll. We've got 115 grams of melted unsalted butter, and we've got 67 grams of brown sugar. So for the crust, we'll start off by mixing these three together. So we'll pour our butter in here, add our sugar, and we just mix to combine. For the crust as well, you can use any type of biscuits that you prefer. Some use Oreos, some use a different type of digestives, some use graham crackers. I'm just using plain digestives because that's what I had access to. So you just mix this. When it's well combined, the texture looks like wet sand. So that's the texture that we are after. And this mixture is enough for 24 mini cheesecakes. So now our crust mixture is ready. I'm just gonna pop it to the side so we can line our muffin tray. So now we are just going to line our muffin tray. Now we are just going to scoop our crust into the trays. And once this is done, we are going to put this in the freezer just for a few minutes to set whilst we make the filling. So I'll just show you. I'll be using this little scooping guy here. Don't stir it too much. So once you've scooped your crust, you just come and you want to press it. I'm just using the back of the scoop that I was using. So this process of pressing it down, you do it for all 24. So that's ready. I've got my 2 trays ready. I am just going to pop them in the freezer for 15 minutes whilst we make the filling. So whilst our crust is chilling in the freezer, we are going to work on our filling. I'm just going to tell you the ingredients that we are using, and I've had people ask me what brands I use. So I've got them in the containers so I can tell you the brands that I'll be using. So we've got 67 grams of caster sugar in here. We are going to be using 450 grams of cream cheese. This is going to be at room temperature. I'm using the Manhattan brand. You can use whatever brand you've got access to. We are going to be using 240 mils of double cream, or some call it heavy cream or whipping cream. And this has to be cold from the fridge. We are going to be using 2 tablespoons of sour cream, and this is the brand that I'll be using. I've also got some strawberries here. I'll be extracting the juice to just make some swirls on some of the cheesecakes, but this is optional. You don't have to do it. I've got half a teaspoon of vanilla extract, and I've got 1 teaspoon of lemon juice that I've just extracted from a fresh lemon. We are starting off by whipping 240 mils of our cold heavy cream. You whip until you've got medium to hard peaks, so about 4 minutes. So we'll whip on high speed. You need to be careful not to over whip, as it can easily turn into butter. So it's almost there, a few more seconds and then I'll stop. All right, you can see we've got our nice peaks here. So now we're gonna set this to the side and then move on to the next stage. So in a separate bowl, we've got our 400 grams of cream cheese. This is soft at room temperature. We've got our 67 grams of sugar, and we are just going to cream that together. Now that's good. We are going to add our sour cream. If you remember, we had 2 tablespoons and this is at room temperature. We are going to add our 1 teaspoon of freshly squeezed lemon juice and half a teaspoon of vanilla extract. And we are just going to mix that in. I'll just stop and check if it's now smooth. Looks like it's now nice and smooth. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to grab the thickened cream that I had set to the side. I'll put it into this bowl and I'm going to fold in gently until it's well mixed. You'd have to do it a few times to make sure that everything is well mixed. Once this is done, it means our filling is ready. So we'll go and grab our mini cheesecake crusts from the freezer, and then we'll scoop some of this cream. And then we have got our mini cheesecakes back from the freezer. So now we are going to be scooping this filling off, and I'm just going to use a scoop. So just like that. So we've got our filling done. Now the next step is to just make it smooth at the top. So I'm just going to use a spoon to do that. Once this is done, they are ready to go into the fridge. You can chill them for about 3 hours before you can enjoy them, but I'm going to chill them overnight. But before I do that, this is where if you want to add a bit of flavor, you can do it. So I've got here some strawberry juice, which I've just put fresh strawberries that I showed you earlier into a blender. And I'm just going to do some swirls. So now our cheesecakes have set, and like I promised earlier, we are going to decorate them into Santa's hats. So I've got strawberries here. I've cut the green part off because this is the part that's going to be sitting on top of the cheesecake. And I've got here marshmallows, white marshmallow that I've just cut into tiny pieces. So this will sit at the top to make it look like Santa's hat. And then just for variation, this one, I've just dipped it in some fresh cream to have the white topping. So you can use anything white. You can even put a banana on top. Just have fun experimenting. So now I'm just going to place it on top of the cheesecake. This is how you make a Santa hat, no bake mini cheesecake. And I'm just going to open up one of the cheesecakes so you can just see how it looks like. So you can see here, it's supposed to come out nicely if it has set like it has over here. So that's our mini cheesecake.